Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another episode of Smart Contact, where smart people come to contact crypto. My name is Jonathan. I am your rock and roll expert, your journalistic integrity expert who has been obsessed with cryptocurrency since March of 2021. And so I'm going to do a five things video today, which is where I talk about five things related to crypto and the greater world involving crypto. And so I am really excited to talk to you today about these five things. If you like making money in crypto, then welcome to the club. If you think there is more to crypto than just money, then make sure you hit the like button, ding the little bell, and hit subscribe all so we can get this channel off the ground. And so I'm going to start off with what I always start off with, which is a quick market cap of what I consider the three biggest cryptos. And so we have Bitcoin. Everything's been on a nice little rise. We got look at this. This is one day. Wow. Started at 29. Now we're up at 31. I mean, it started at like 5 p.m. California time, Pacific. And then let's take a look at Ethereum. That's the other one. And so, similar price action was down at 17, then we got up to 18.7. And so, now I used to have Luna as my third biggest coin, but we see how that turned out. I mean, this is the price action today. It doesn't look that bad, but let's look at so yeah, we're gonna retire old Luna from our third biggest one. And now that Luna's out of town, you know who the cool kid is again? I think our good old buddy Cardano. And we got similar price action from Cardano, going from 56 cents now up to 62 cents. Nice little move from Cardano. A lot of people have been talking about an upcoming fork of the Cardano chain. Should probably do a video on that. Okay, well, as always, while there is an ongoing conflict in Europe that is like one sliver away from World War III, because let's not forget World War One. The Archduke of Austria was assassinated, and he was just like a third party, like not major in the conflict, but that sparked World War One. So as long as this pending war is going on in Europe, which is where most of our allies are, and most of the nuclear bombs, we're going to focus on that because it's also very tied into the US dollar index, which is a basket of currencies. Most of those currencies, you know where they are? They're in Europe. And so if the European currencies get better, then the US dollar index goes down, which apparently people think is great for Bitcoin. I think it's a little more complicated than that, but definitely we want the other currencies to be strong too for a stronger economy, period, which creates a better place for innovative stocks, speculative currencies as well, to take off. Any type of speculative assets do better in stronger economic times. And so let's dig in here. So I'm going to be talking about the Ukraine war and where it's going, where we're at right now, Putin's war. And so basically, it looks like, Russia will expand the list of targets it will attack if the countries send long-range weapons to Kyiv, the capital of Ukraine, says Putin. Russia recently attacked what they said were tanks supplied by European countries, but Ukraine says it was a railway repair plant. So this is a lot of the fog of war. You never know what's really true and what isn't true because you're not there. And without a doubt, both sides are trying to use the media to their favor. So you got to keep that in mind. You're going to see a lot of discrepancies on both sides saying completely different things, and only one side's telling the truth if they are complete opposite things. And so I know Germany is planning to send them some Iris Ts, which enable Ukraine to shield an entire city from air attacks. I know the United States, we are also going to be sending them some high mobility artillery rockets, which can hit targets accurately up to 45 miles away. But what we make Ukraine promise, and Vladimir Zelensky promised that they will not use these weapons inside of Russia, so just for defensive purposes. And so I think that's like the line in the sand we're at right now. Like we're promising that we are going to do nothing to harm Russia inside of Russia militarily, even using Ukraine as a proxy, and that's it's and also you can see here Russia's greatly moved to the east of Ukraine, eastern Ukraine. We're hearing a lot about the Donbass region. So this is still ongoing, still volatile situation with the war. And of course, it has a lot to do with the food shortages and grain shortages and energy shortages because Russia and Ukraine are huge in those. So that's why I'm always keeping tabs on this. It's not for any other reason. It's huge. It's news is paramount. And so let's move on. So I'm also going to talk about Elon Musk. As we know, there was their huge ongoing saga where he said he wanted to buy it, and first he bought a bunch of stocks, then they offered him a place on the a board. He turned it down, then said he wants to buy it, and then he made a legitimate offer and of like $44 billion. And Twitter did everything they could to stop it, but by law they had to sell it to him because the offer was literally too good. And so to provide for their shareholders, they have to by law do what is most profitable for them. And then there was an issue with Elon Musk kind of backing out because of there being too many bots, saying that there was only five. They said there was less than 5% were bots. He said there were more than 5% bots, and so therefore the deal wasn't as good as he thought it was. And so then there's this thing to where if Twitter were to back out, they would owe Elon Musk $1 billion and dollars, and if and the other way around. So Twitter in this case is saying that the waiting period has expired based on the HSR Act. So the saga is still ongoing. The development comes as Elon Musk said last month that the Twitter deal was temporarily on hold. So, they have a time frame. He's putting it on hold, and now Twitter's shooting back and saying that, okay, the time has expired. I think Elon Musk is in the process of suing them. And so, still going to keep an eye on that. I still think that whenever this whole Twitter thing is figured out, it's definitely going to be good or interesting for the entire tech sector. Because let's say the deal does go through, that's going to be putting a lot of cash in the pockets of everyone who had invested in Twitter because they're basically forced to sell because it's gone private. Elon Musk obviously has more sway than most individuals on the crypto market with his influence on Doge and Tesla buying Bitcoin and him just being really big into the whole tech space, which cryptocurrencies are tied into. So that's why I'm keeping you up to date on this one. Now let's move. This one was really fascinating, this story in this picture. So a life after crime. Amber Heard, right? What happens to crypto seized in criminal investigations? Very, very. And so it talks about the European Union, the UK, and the United States and what they do after seizing crypto assets for one reason or the other, typically after some type of crime. And so here's, you commit some kind of crime, then the crypto has to go somewhere, and so here's what happens to it. Okay, I know there was a little bit of silence there while I'm trying to kind of get my bearings on The United States seized more than $3 billion worth of crypto in 2021. And what they do in these cases are they auction it off, and I read the whole article beforehand. Now I'm having trouble finding the spots, but what they basically do is they seize the assets, and then they auction it off, and then they use that money for whatever they want. And then here is some of very very important things like armored personnel carriers. You might need that, and then of course sheriff's award banquets. You might know the sheriffs from the people who were armed to the teeth and yet waited more than an hour to go into the Uvalde school and save children after 20 had been slaughtered. There was also an armed officer inside of Uvalde, Texas schools. So an armed officer inside, dozens of armed officers armed to the teeth outside, and yet it was the only child that was saved was whenever her unarmed mother ran in and saved her, despite the police telling her, no, stay, let your kids die. But and then also, what's even more important than that, all needed sheriff's ball is a clown. You got to have a clown. And so yeah, basically they can spend it on whatever they want. Missouri legally obliged to seize funds allocated to schools. So different states have different rules as to what they can do too. But that gets even worse whenever it comes to the UK because, or not the UK, but the EU, because the EU has so many different countries and no centralized um, uh, laws on what to do with seized property, much less seized crypto new digital assets. And so that kind of gets broken up there. Um, and a similar procedure regulates the allocation of seized crypto in the United Kingdom. The Proceeds of Crime Act of 2002 outlines how cryptocurrency proceeds of crime should be dealt with once seized. Tony DeHanjal, head of the tax of Coinly, explained to Cointelegraph, and what he said was, when it generally comes to confiscated assets as opposed to cash, the Home Office gets 50% of the other, and the other 50% is split between the police, Crown Prosecution Services, and the courts. There is also leeway for some of the confiscated assets to be returned to the victims of crypto crime. So very interesting. You always have to worry about whenever governments have the about power and ability to seize something, especially that becomes very valuable. They might start changing around what's legal and what's not illegal to target certain individuals, certain organizations, and so it's important to know these kinds of laws or have an idea of them to protect yourself and to vote for the right people, just to be more aware, to be more educated. And so there's a little taste of it there for you. Of course, all these articles can be found. This is from Cointelegraph. I put the links in the description. Oh yeah, and so I saw this article. So why is Japanese Bitcoin? Why this Japanese Bitcoin is on a hot streak in the crypto market, and it really is, and it really took off from my first show. I did my first show back in February, and I talked about Jasmy. Jasmy was a penny then. It's back to a penny now. But in the meantime, since January and June, it went up to 4 pennies, and it was very, very shortly after my last video, or my first video. And now I'm seeing it called the Japanese Bitcoin. I don't know about that, but it's still a very cool term, especially because I was actually watching an altcoin daily video. It's a show I very much enjoy. It's a cryptocurrency YouTube channel, and they were talking about how this major crypto regulation is coming in on Tuesday that I'm going to be doing more research on in perhaps another video. And how a lot of altcoins might get wrecked, but if Jasmy's positioning itself as a kind of like a better Bitcoin, which many coins have tried to do in the past, but then it could potentially avoid some of those regulations. And just a quick reminder on what Jasmy is. Jasmy Coin, also dubbed Japanese Bitcoin by somebody, is an IoT platform, and I've done a video on it, so you can definitely go back and look at it, which aims to offer infrastructure that allows seamless data transfer safely and securely. Built on the Ethereum blockchain, the Jasmy crypto aims to cater to different individuals and businesses to transfer tokens using the proof of value consensus. Proof of value. The 343rd ranked crypto was trading at 1 penny with a trading volume of 51 million according to CoinMarketCap, and that's pretty good. It's pretty good. So I love just doing stories on Jasmy. Jasmy's still growing. I really have a lot of hope in Jasmy and Internet of Things in general. Japan recently passed some legislation involving their stable coins, and so still keeping Jasmy on my radar. Okay, so this next one is also pretty interesting. And this is your taste of hopium, because it seems like we're in the beginning of a bear market. It seems like it could go down a lot more. Bitcoin could be headed towards the 20, 20,000, 14,000 range potentially. But here's a hopium kind of side of things. Let's go back to Bitcoin here. And so here's what Bitcoin's looking like. Let's do the year. Here's kind of what Bitcoin looks like right now, right? And then we're in this down area here. Could this be the expanded flat correction Elliott wave theory? So there's multiple kinds of Elliott wave theories, but this one is the expanded flat correction one. And so we have like an up, higher up, a lower up. So this kind of looks like head and shoulder-ish, right? And then a down, and then it starts working its way up. Could that be what we're seeing here? Could it be up and then a lower up, and now we are in this lower region in B? So is this A, and then some kind of sideways, and then B, and then B. So this is all A, the high A, and then the little rise of A, and then could this be B? Could this be B, the big B? Because we had the high rise, and it kind of rises again. Now we're getting low, and could it start going up again? That is a hopium case. And if we are in B, even if this is 100% legit, and we're gonna get a big surprise, and it's not gonna be a 1 to 2 year bear market, but actually some kind of hope for the end of this year, early next year, this could be it. And even if we are in B, we could still be like right here or something. It could still hit that like 20,000, something like that, before going up in a more, this would basically mean we're still in the bull market and not the bear market. And this is the most hopium chart that I could find. And so, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is all 5 things. So let me talk about what I've been buying lately. I bought some Jasmy, Optimism. I also bought some I actually sold my YGG, my Yield Guild Games tokens, and bought some Optimism. Optimism's a brand new token. It was airdropped to people who had been using Optimism, which is a layer 2 solution for Ethereum. And so kind of a competitor with Polygon, except Polygon's got a lot of other stuff going on too. Crypto's so great. It's also awesome and exciting. And what it can do, this distributed ledger, blockchain, eliminating trust is so important, because trust is at an all-time low. And so if we can eliminate levels of trust, then we can create a better future, better society. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to do it together. You, me, and everybody else. Society, we're going to come together. We're going to make this happen. We're going to make it work. A lot of people say the cryptocurrency, a lot of influencers even say the cryptocurrency space is toxic. I don't think it's that toxic if you look at any of the other spaces. And so thanks so much for tuning in today, all you lovers and all you loners. I hope to see you very soon. I plan to put out more and more content. I'm going to single out politicians, going to single out cryptocurrencies. I'm going to do more Jasmy videos, Moonbeam, Optimism, Glimmer. It's all going to be coming to you. So get in on this channel early. You're still early on this channel. This is going to be going on for longer and longer and longer. We are a community-driven channel. So thanks so much for tuning in. Please hit the like button and have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your week.